passive user, then there's a direct user. So if you're a passive user, you might be so indoctrinated into how you carry yourself that you don't know your user.
Your user.
You know what I mean? It's like a parasite, right? If you told the parasite you're a parasite, it has no response for you.
Yeah,
it just is what it is. It's
is.
acting as it's been designed to. So if you're raised in a household where you witnessed your mother abuse or use your father, or your father abuse and use your mother, you come up thinking that this is the normal dichotomy of a relationship.
That's
you don't
how it
even
works.
think you're being a user.
Yeah, but
that's the dangerous user.
I notice a lot of friendship are based on some people who are nothing but users. And we all have those kind of people in our life. Only a few of us are able to quickly identify users because you see them in our day-to-day activities. We're talking about in relationship, in our lives, in everything. But I started thinking, how do we identify them so you will be able to understand where they're coming from and how to avoid them? I was talking about someone who unfortunately depended on his friend to take him to the airport, and he kept calling this dude. Rather for this guy to tell him that I'm stuck somewhere, he said, give me 10 minutes, give me 20 minutes, oh, just few minutes. But he sensed that this guy may not be coming. He took the ride share, and he has passed TSA. He was waiting at his gate when this guy called him. Where are you? I'm here now. That's like almost 1 hour.
There's no consideration for.
So they don't. They are extremely unreliable. So if you have a friend who is consistently unreliable, and they're always having excuses, then I think
They'll give you just enough to keep you around. Basically, oh yeah, I'll do that for you. And then end up not following through.
I mean, it depends. I studied psychology to the point that I wanted to have a better understanding of people and myself. So there's a passive user, then there's a direct user. So if you're a passive user, you might be so indoctrinated into how you carry yourself that you don't know your user.
your user.
You know what I mean? It's like a parasite, right? If you told the parasite you're a parasite, it has no response for you.
Yeah,
it just is what it is. It's
is.
acting as it's been designed to. So if you're raised in a household where you witnessed your mother abuse or use your father, or your father abuse and use your mother, you come up thinking that this is the normal dichotomy of a relationship.
That's
you don't
how it
even
works.
think you're being a user.
Yeah, but
that's the dangerous user
But
to me.
no, but I disagree a little with you, because if you look at two boys, a twin, born in the same household, and their dad is a conk addict. And eventually this is a very popular adage, and these two grew up. One became like the dad, the other became very successful. And they were asking that, oh, okay, why are you successful and your twin is not? And he said that he grew up seeing his dad, and he doesn't want to be like his dad. And the other one be like, I grew up seeing my dad, so I followed suit. So now, I think it's a pattern of choice, because when we are doing some things, we know if we are right or wrong. Because a lot of people would have told you that, dude, if, for instance, I'm doing something, 2, 3, 4 people already complained about that same thing. Your inability to reflect.
Well, that goes much deeper. Like he's talking about psychology.
Yeah, psychology.
I mean, we can go way deep into, well, they
Holberg
didn't choose
theory.
it, they chose it. Yeah, stuff like that.
Early childhood development.
Right.
Yeah.
So the main thing is, okay, how do you know if maybe they meant to be, maybe they're not meaning to be, maybe they do know, maybe they don't know. The fact of the matter is there are users in the world. And so how do we identify that? So, for instance, a user, whether they know they are a user or not, they just tend to take. They're takers. So it's just their family,
Nature.
their nature is to, okay, if I want something, I'm going to ask for it. Whereas a giver is just naturally going to give. Okay, so you've got this user that's going to be, okay, I need something, so I'm going to do something for you, but I'm going to expect something. I'm going after something.
That is transactional.
Yeah, right.
But talking about the passive user and an active user, I I see a thin line between the
Fine
two
line.
of them, a fine line. Because if you notice something also, when they give you, you'll be ready to pay double.
Yeah.
They are ready.
When the
And-
user,
and they
when
have
the,
it-
when the user gives, you're ready
They
to pay
have
double of it.
receipts. They have
Yeah.
receipts on it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I did
And-
this, and that for you. I need you now to do this.
I think that the best thing is just to reject it because you know you're going to pay double for it.
Yeah.
So and you know, just like the first thing we
But
said,
even a user is going to say, well, I tried to give you that,
yeah.
but you said,
Well, then that's falling into the realm of manipulation because the user
Yes.
has to maintain a relationship with you, and the only way to do that is to keep some type of an emotional or psychological hold over the individual,
Yep.
and that could be male or female.
Female,
yep.
Yeah.
manipulation
So
definitely
if
comes into that.
we're trying to identify them here, right? So there are other actions that you can use to know who users
the users.
are. If you are dealing with some certain types of users, no matter how hard you try,
You're never satisfied.
they are never satisfied.
Yeah, I think
They feel, I think it comes with a feeling of entitlement.
Yeah, there's never going to be enough that you can give them that.
Because I discover also these same users are people that they are not users to. They are people that they prefer over you, no matter what you do.
Well, the vulnerable. I mean, there's that prey instinct. Like they can, sniff that out and be like, okay, I know this person is going to do what I need them to do.
Predator and prey.
And yet I can look like a good person. I can say, well, so-and-so says I'm a great guy or I'm a great girl. And that's the one they're not asking anything from.
Yeah.
Because they know they can't go away
I
with that.
identified someone as a user recently, and it's the fact that this person only comes to me or calls when he needs something, which is okay because maybe he doesn't have anything that I need. But
Right.
I was talking to another friend that told me that, you know what, have you noticed the pattern that this person doesn't call? We are in June, right? The last I heard from this person was November last year. Now, this person just suddenly pop up and start calling. And I told him, this person needs something, so we'll pick the call. When we pick the call, like, how have you been a long time? And Happy New Year, how you doing? Good. I don't know if...
that's a user.
Just
That's their
always.
words.
That's the passive part, though. That's the passive that's not direct. It's being passive.
Yeah,
Trying
like-
to plant the seed real quick, fish for some information.
And the dude that was with him, that we later spoke, was so angry, he told him that, when last day have you called this person? And he'd be like, is that important?
There's always a motive. There's not just, hey, how
He
you
asked the
doing?
question, is that important to call him? So, but it's important to call him when you need him. That means it's more like a spare tire. It's only needed when it's needed. So we're looking at that. I think we can identify the passive users in our life and the active ones. Because I know active users, those ones fall in the category of they give you stuff. They're active but they're giving you stuff with a motive.
Yeah.
Because one day they're going to need you. And they refer. Like a colleague of mine was saying that his girlfriend wanted to give him a Father's Day gift. And he rejected it. And be like, every moment, every time she gives me something,
She wants to get something.
she comes back and be like, I need you to do this for me. And knowing that it's not convenient, he tried to say it's not convenient. And she's like, now it's not convenient for you, right? But when I gave you that trolley, when I gave you this thing, you took it. It's convenient then.
Yeah.
And this is always the pattern. So you
Well, and
start
that's
avoiding it.
where, like you said, a passive user is not going to see themselves,
As a
the
user.
parasite,
User, yeah, no, they won't.
analogy. They're not going to see themselves as users. They're just going
They're
to
the
see
victim.
Yeah.
They are the
Exactly.
victim.
So if we're looking at users and the fact that majority of them will never offer help unless you ask, there are people that have an innate understanding of a weak mindset. So they'll know if I give you a bag of candy on a Monday, I can ask you for a bag of rice on Friday. The bag of candy was 50 cents, but I need this $20 bag of rice. And I know in my mind, based on how generous you are and how you are as a giving person, that you're not going to think twice. You're just going to be like, this is a great relationship. They brought me my favorite 50-cent candy on Monday. And now you just need some rice? Come on, I'll take you to Sam's Club. It's only $25. But if you're doing that every week, every other week, it's adding up to the point that you're a lick. And a lot of users, depending on how developed they are, passive or active, the active user knows, Like, I only got to give you this 10-cent down payment to make the dollar. I'm willing to give you 10 cents every time to get that dollar.
Damn.
Yeah, you're talking about the active users, but there's some other users that they don't, unless you ask them to do something, they will not do it.
100%.
They will not do it.
Yeah, you're talking about that. I think Vincent is right, because if you look at some people, we're talking about moving now. You're moving from your apartment to another apartment, or you need this thing done that you obviously need help, right? Most of the time, they know you need it. They heard you moving. They know you can't do this alone. Rather than them help you, if you do not ask them, they are not going to lift a finger to help you. But when they need your help, they don't think twice before asking.
Sometimes they don't even do ask you. You know they need it.
You know they need it, just
So
show
you
up.
just show up.
Now you got the point, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, they're going to offer you something that's not really valuable to them. It's to them that nice candy is not really affecting them, but to you it's a big deal. And so again, it's that manipulation where you look like, you know, they look like this. Oh God, that guy did this for me, and now this is no big deal to do that for
And
them.
if you now look at them, some of them, they know this information is needed by you. You want this information, you really need it. Let's talk about, they are working in a very nice office, you've been unemployed for a long time. They intentionally withhold information. They do it. And you later find out that you had a vacancy in your office, and you know I am unemployed.
Because it doesn't benefit
Because
them.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
So that is why I notice most of them, we all have those friends that conveniently forget. The information they give you, if it doesn't have anything that they want to get back, like maybe if there's a referral in the office that they're going to get $500 back, they will refer you. But the moment,
Users don't have you in mind.
No.
They don't.
And
They don't
speaking
have
of
you in mind.
the like active user in a relationship, in a partnership, they'll withhold things to get what they need. So rather than, you know, like withholding love. So if you don't do what they asked you to do, that they wanted to use you for, then they will withhold things from you
You, yes.
as
yes.
punishment for
So
not
it-
giving them what they needed.
there's no sacrificial intent
No.
in the
That
relationship.
users aren't unconditional.
Yeah, and
There's
also,
no
according to what Vincent said, the moment you understand the fact that they don't have you in mind, I think you'll feel better.
They always think about themselves.
It's only for
Yeah.
them.
They don't even think
Yeah.
about
If it doesn't have anything to do with them, they don't even remember you. That's why they conveniently forget
Yeah.
that you may need this.